Why did you want to publish your ideas with Context Magazine?
Ever since I learned about it, the magazine, I thought it would be a really cool place to be able to publish, just because it is a really unique publication within sociology, within academia. Um, I really, like I mentioned before, I really like assigning the articles to my own undergrads. I think that the the more public focus of the magazine and the public focus of the writing itself is really accessible, especially to undergrads, especially to like introductory level students. My previous position, I taught a lot of introductory classes, and mostly to STEM students. That's a lot of what I do now as well. So introducing these concepts to students who don't have a lot of background in social science, it really, allows a really good entree into the field, but it also brings sort of a personalized element to it, with pieces like mine and other pieces as well, not just within context, but also elsewhere. Being able to tie together a personal story that has meaning, whether it's the author's personal story, or whether it's kind of a personal story from participants, those types of things, makes students much more engaged within the work and actually have an understanding of how these theoretical concepts are meaningful in daily lives, or in the lives of the individuals.
Can you
Yeah.
walk us through the main argument? Like, what's the key takeaway you want the readers to get from your article?
Thinking of trichotillomania, which is the specific body-focused repetitive behavior that I focus on, and really thinking about how it is this intersection of deviances. So the where it is considered to be a mental illness, but it is really defined as a mental illness because it is seen as a violation of beauty norms, but even more specifically, that it's seen as an intentional violation of beauty norms, right? Like the idea of beauty work is that we're supposed to be taking time to make ourselves, and society requires us to spend time making ourselves presentable. So what does it mean for people who have a behavior that is working against that, right? And it is seen as being intentional. It's seen as being intentional based on the ways that people interact with the public. That question of why can't you just stop? Like, well, I would if I could. Every single participant that I spoke to brought that up as something, as why can't you just stop, or you need to just stop, or and they get that from everywhere, from friends to families to medical professionals to therapists, right? So this is a blame and this assumption of intentionality that really kind of brings this type of violation of beauty norms into like a self-blame, right? That idea that you're making yourself ugly, as one of my participants so kind of eloquently described. So I think that sociologically, understanding that way, that how mental illness is so intricately tied to the violation of beauty norms and the specific type of violation of beauty norms, right? This idea of intentionality. Um,
Like, how do you think your ideas are relevant for the broader public?
I almost see this a little bit as a critique on sociology, how even sociologists, right? Even sociology as a field where the study of stigma originated, right, is not immune to reinforcing those same types of stigmatization, that exist in broader society. So for those of us, who both research and are the subject of particular social phenomena, um, it it becomes it becomes so much more, harmful, um, personally, right? And I think about this personally when I feel stigmatized by the fields that study stigma, right? And that's something that I think that as a field, And there are other, areas of this as well. I think that sociology as a field has some work to do, and I think a lot of other fields, right, also have similar types of work to do. What are the ways that we as a field have perpetuated some of the inequities and inequalities that we prefer to study? That and what does it mean to study them if we are not, actually trying to break them down?